At MFS, golden rule number 5 is critical for us to be successful.
Following Mercer's golden rule number 5, I only conduct work that I'm authorized, trained, and qualified to do.
And rule number 5 is extremely important, that they understand it and obey it and are not afraid to use it.
We have procedures in place, we have rules in place, we wear PPE, and all that combined with common sense is the key to staying safe.
When we start a new area, we always have a pre-work with all the crew, make sure there's nothing out of the ordinary. If there is, we make sure the guys have proper training and supervision so they can work safely and make it home safe.
Identify the hazards as much as possible so that we can be as safe as possible. When I see a danger tree, I push it over before the crew arrives.
Every time logging trucks come by, they let me know that they're driving by. Because if they don't, and I don't know they're driving by, I could be limbing a tree towards the road. And that tree, if it snaps near the top or whatever, that tree goes shooting out like a bullet.
There's lots of bark coming off this time of year and it makes it really slippery. And then in the wintertime, you got in rainy season, it's the same thing, only worse. But of anything at all, that's definitely the most dangerous part of my day is when I'm checking my wood.
After 40 years of falling, I've learned to always keep my head on a swivel, always look up, and make sure I have 2 good escape paths as I cut the tree.
Whenever hoe chucking on steep grounds, I always keep my tracks parallel up and down the hill for safety measures.
Internet service. Upon receiving a Starlink satellite, I contacted one of our tradespeople who is qualified and knows the proper safe work procedures to perform this work.
Follow the 5th golden rule of safety is to greet to everyone who comes in the door and make sure that they're following all COVID safety rules. I have them fill out.
I'm working alongside the road, I'm always on the road channel.
If I do have to talk to somebody on a different channel, I will pull over and do so on a different channel and then call again when I start back.
And I always do an assessment of the road and the conditions of the hill. Winter time, I advise the trucks behind me what I figure they need for chains or any hazards that we are going to be dealing with.
Lots of miles involved in our jobs each day, traveling to and from the bush to the shop, and checking in is one of our top priorities.
Tired, spoiled, or sometimes it's just a 10-minute nap. It's all it takes, and then you're refreshed and ready to go again.
I don't do steep slopes unless I get a hoe chucker or a trail made for me.
I was working on a processing head yesterday and needed a hand and called the bush crew, and the bush crew came over and helped me problem solve it so that I wasn't under the machine with no one there.
When I'm working with the road crew, I always keep my buncher operator within 10-minute access in case of emergencies.
Well, it's very important that you let somebody know if you're going to approach their working area, their circle. You never go in there on your own because you don't know what they're doing, right?
The rule I always remember when I'm operating the machine, especially on hillsides, is that I have the ability to judge my own experience, and then I can either do the work if I feel comfortable, or I can approach the work in a different way to make it happen safely.
We want people working in the areas that they're comfortable and competent in. As soon as we get people out of those areas, that's when we tend to have the problems.
Know your abilities, don't go over your abilities, and learn and read your instructions so you know what you're doing. If you do not know what you're doing, have any questions, stop and ask somebody.
We never want anyone doing anything they are not trained to do, and we want them to be able to speak freely to supervisors and management if they are not qualified for any job, and I encourage them to speak up about their right to refuse unsafe work, because we want everyone going home safe.
Whenever I don't feel comfortable, I stop.